Okay, so the complaint today is there's no power to the human interface of the chiller. Disconnect is on, no power to the chiller. So let's look inside. First thing I'm looking at is these boards. You see this human interface coming in. I'm not sure if this thing has a transformer in it or not. It seems to me like it would run on low voltage, but not sure. But the first thing I did was I started looking for fuses. And I see fuses on these boards, 115 volt it says. So I set my meter to AC and I'm going to ground and I'm checking around here. All the fuses look good and there's no power on either side of the fuses anywhere, no power anywhere. So that 115 volt power source is just dead. So it's a high voltage problem, not a low voltage problem. But still, I wanted to check these transformers. These are typically controlled transformers. They probably feed these boards. Maybe they feed this. Not sure. So the next thing I do is I check the low side of a controlled transformer. It's 0. Let's check to see if there's anything coming in on the high side. Also 0. So my problem is upstream of all of this. So then I'm moving over and I'm looking at the high voltage side where everything comes in. So I start at the beginning where it comes in from the disconnect. 480 volts. Check between all 3 of the legs. 480, 480. So all 3 legs coming in are good. I checked over here just for fun, but these actually just go out to the compressors. So that's not going to be the controlled transformer stuff. So really, the next thing to do is to check all these big fuses here. So I went between the two. You could do it several ways. You could go to ground and you'll get 280. So we're just checking it coming in and we know they're good on the ground or on the bottom side, on the feeder side. 280, 280, everything's 280. So plenty of voltage coming in. Now you can check them up here. 280, 280, 280, everything's good. 280, 280. 280, and then an even better way to do it is to check between them. Check between 2 legs. 480 there, 480 there, 480 there, 480 there, 480 there. Now, if you catch one, the reason you want to try it several different ways is because you might catch one that's on the same leg, like this one and this one. They read 0 when you go between them, and that might lead you to believe that there would be something wrong with those fuses, but it's not. You just need to check it with a different one. So now I got 480. Check it to ground, check the legs between each other, and just think about what you're doing. So then I'm checking this big transformer here. This one's got 480 coming in, and on the low side it's got 120. So it's making power just fine. There's nothing wrong with the coils inside that transformer. And so then the only fuses left in the whole thing are these 3 fuses right here. So I like to check between them. So here I've got my 480, but when I go here I get 280. So that's different, right? It's basically 277, I guess. So now I'm going to start checking things to ground. So 280, 280, nothing. All right, go up top on the fuse, 120. Go across the fuse, 120. If you're going across something, it should read 0 like this. Same leg, it's going to read 0, right? Well, if the fuse is blown, it's kind of like one leg to ground. So I'm looking at this fuse as being the culprit. So then the next step is to turn the power off. And it's always a good idea to wait a minute, but I know I'm safe. So I'm going to pull this fuse out. And then the next thing I do is I verify a third way, and that's continuity. So I set my meter to continuity. So it should beep if the fuse is good. No beep, so the fuse is bad. And I'm like, oh, where am I going to get one of these fuses? I don't carry these on the truck. And then I start looking around and there's just fuses laying all in here. There's bad fuses everywhere. And I scan over this way and look, there's a box of these things. So I grab one and I drop it in. We power it up. And the human interface now has power again. So this chiller is gonna run. So you just start with the problem and start working your way back to the source. And if you know how to use an electrical meter, you'll figure it out.